Episode 2. This was a hilarious episode. The rice bowl section was hilarious. Before we get to anything, we need to talk about that. So, I found it absolutely hilarious how this girl's like, oh my god, like, have my rice bowls. And then later on, we find out that they have sugar in them, which is absolutely gross. And I get the logic. The logic is obviously like, she's young and young people love sugar, so they think sugar makes everything better, but you should not be putting sugar in rice bowls because that's gross. But I like that the author's mind went there. I remember listening to a podcast and when they mentioned that humor is you being presented what you already know, but in just a new way. So the fact that the author thought of presenting kids' love of sugar in this format, to me, is like some mad writing. Like, this is giving me signs that Oda, I think that's his name, I nearly called him Togashi then, the guy from Hunter, he writes in a really creative way. Of course he's going to be creative. He's had this shonen going on for like 20 years. But I just loved that whole dynamic. I found it hilarious. I found it gross. And it was even worse that poor Zoro had to eat them damn rice bowls covered in mud. Anyway, now that's out of the way. I love how Zoro was initially presented. Remember, this is a kids show. Initially, is it? I don't know. I'm only in episode 2. I love how he was initially presented as being unpleasant. So he was like, oh, you're an eyesore. And then later on, we found out that he was actually like an alright guy. And when you're watching that, it does take you on a journey. It didn't take me on a journey because I'm a big man. Like, I knew Zoro wasn't bad vibes. But I like that the author presented the character on a bit of a journey. So there's a solid introduction to him. And it's new. And it even had a flashback, right? And we also know that there's another character being introduced. You know, the girl with the orange hair? We keep on seeing her being sus. So she's being introduced slowly. Zoro's been slapped in our face, but there was a push. Whereas Luffy, he was just there, episode 1, just doing his thing. And to me, that kind of gives an indication of what these characters are going to be like later on. I get the sense that that girl is going to be sus. She's sus now, so she's going to be sus for the rest of the show. Luffy, straightforward, simpleton. Zoro, not necessarily what it seems on the can. That's my initial assessment of these characters with how they've been presented. Now, my early sense about Luffy so far, in terms of like his powers, he was giving me OP vibes. Like, how are you gonna get shot? Pop, pop, pop. And then the flipping bullets just go through your body and like they bounce back. I saw that and I thought, is this gonna be OP? And then I thought, not OP for One Piece, OP overpowered. And then I thought, no, because clearly he has a limitation. You know, when he ran the wrong way from the courtyard, that shows that Luffy's a simpleton. We know this already. And I think whenever you have a character with such great powers, like being bulletproof, you need a weakness. And the weakness so far is Luffy's intellect, but this weakness is not directly related to his power of bouncing back bullets. So I look forward to finding out what the limitation of his bounty power is, because it needs a limitation, because if it doesn't have a limitation, then this is ridiculous. But I'm certain this author is going to add some limitations later on. But I look forward to figuring that out. And also, Luffy running the opposite way and just being simple reflects to me that he definitely needs a crew. Like, he needs people on board, because how are you going to try and be the Pirate King or find the One Piece when you're running the wrong way in a courtyard? So I wonder if Zoro is going to be the intelligent one in the group. Maybe, maybe not, who knows? Or other characters. So those are my thoughts so far. I've mentioned the flashback already. And in that flashback, there's a little bit of shonen energy as well. You know, Zoro saying, I made a promise. So want to find out what that promise is.